it was Voltaire who said the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And so we've got to keep fighting for the rights, fighting for our rights. The politicians won't look after them, you have to look after them. It's up to you. And what I see here is really the modern day Anzac, fighting for your rights. These rights have been fought for your generation, for my generation, so we really need to keep standing up for our rights and watching out that we don't lose them. I've got 3 questions I want to ask of people who want to pass such laws. The first question is, why do we need these? Do we need these laws? What's it actually going to do? What is the benefit, if you like, of these laws? The second question is, what will they cost? And the third question is, who benefits from these laws? You should always ask who's interested in these laws, who benefits from these laws, because obviously it's not going to be the citizens of Western Australia who are going to benefit from these laws. When I ask, why do we need these laws, I'm not convinced there is a particular problem here to be solved by these laws. I would like to see the evidence of the kind of violent crime we're concerned about here has really increased. Most people in the state believe that crime has increased substantially, but most people get their view on crime from the media. The media will not give you an accurate picture on what's happening with crime rate. Crime has fallen in Western Australia over the last 10 years. So we've got here a solution looking for a problem. So I'd ask our politicians to show us the evidence that violent crime has increased. And that violent crime can be reduced through introducing such laws. I'm sceptical about both those propositions, and I believe there's been insufficient work that is being done to justify the introduction of such draconian laws. My second question does not primarily relate to financial cost, although it's worth noting that we here in Western Australia are one of the most policed states in Australia. And the cost of policing, criminal justice and prisons is growing daily. And we are a wealthy state, and we seem to have endless resources when it comes to policing and prisons. We'd actually do a bit better if we were poorer. The real cost of these laws is not the money involved, but the costs to human dignity and freedom. Our rights and freedoms should be our most cherished possessions, and they are the result of countless sacrifices over time. They should not be given away lightly. Given what is proposed represents a significant loss of personal power and freedom of each and every citizen of Western Australia, I would want to see a much stronger argument to justify this cost. My third point is, who really benefits from what's being proposed here? Do the citizens of this state really benefit? Will there be a substantial increase in personal safety? Will there be any at all? I doubt very much there will be any increase in personal safety. There has been no evidence produced to show how the crime rate will be reduced through the introduction of these laws. This suggests that there is no genuine focus here on community safety. If there's no genuine focus on community safety, what is there? What's motivating these laws? I believe the real beneficiaries of these laws are the politicians who propose them and present themselves as being tough on crime. Basically, the public is being sold snake oil. We need to demand that our politicians stop parading themselves as tough on crime and get real about the issues. It's one thing to imagine how these laws will work. It's another thing to look at how they will be applied in the real world. That's right. The UK have introduced such laws and they've failed. They're now trying to get rid of them. The politicians who are promoting these laws can dress them up in pretty language, but the bottom line is the devil's in the detail. This means the nitty-gritty of an encounter between a police officer and a citizen. When the going gets tough, you as a citizen will want to know how much power you have and how much power the police officer has. It's no good trying to imagine this will only apply to criminals. The powers being proposed here are police powers, which will be able to be exercised against all citizens, whether or not you've committed an offence. One would like to have, you'd have to have lived a very sheltered life to have some knowledge of some encounters between police officers and citizens that hasn't actually resulted in the overuse of police powers. Any transit guard or police officer encounter with a citizen can quickly turn ugly, and this particularly affects young people who can end up on the wrong side of the law. Unfortunately, many young people in our state, and this is really tragic outcome of so much money and so many police, have ended up getting a criminal record as a result of getting on the wrong side of the law. This can happen very quickly. In my experience, we need to see much less use of police power, much less use of force.